Today we're going to be showing you this week's auctions that end anywhere from Friday to about Sunday, maybe a little bit later. Okay, so as you can see, we've transitioned the way we're going to format this, just for the ease of recording. Plus, to do this properly, I really needed to sit down and really do this on a Thursday because I want to capture things that are going to happen over the entirety of the weekend, not just ending on Saturday, which I believe is what it was last time. So without wasting any more time, let's go ahead and take a look at the auctions that we have going this week. First thing that catches my eye is this Batman right here, and the reason it catches my eye is because it is very reasonably priced. It is a female and it is nearly to breeding size. By the time October rolls around, if this thing continues to eat, it will have, I think it'll easily make breeding size. It looks to be in very good condition. They do list it as live soft furred rats, which is African soft furreds. I don't know if that's a deal breaker for some people. I don't think it should be. You know, if it's what they eat, then that's what they eat. And I think you can definitely get this. It's better than mouse. They're bigger than mice. But this is a good way to get started on a very cool project with a breeder ready female. Right now there's zero bids. Zero bids. I don't see that staying that way. This, like I said, it's a nearly breeder ready female. So next up would be this rainbow Enchi male that caught my attention, and the reason it did is because rainbow is not a very prevalent gene. It kind of gets forgotten about. It's in that same family as lavenders and such like that, but there are some subtle differences. I mean, kind of looking at this picture here, I don't know how to describe it. It could just be me. I'm not in on the rainbow project, so I'm definitely got no skin in that game, but I don't know, they definitely look more than just yellow and a lavenderish type color. It's just like the lavenders maybe are a little bit more bright, pop a little bit. I believe that rainbow just kind of just enhances the brightness of the animals, but I haven't seen one for sale this cheap. It is a recessive gene, by the way. Maybe something to look into. However, 17 bids are on this, so it's got a lot of interest, and the reserve price has not yet been met, so something to consider there. Next one that catches my attention is this Paint Cinnamon Yellow Belly. Paint is really cool. We've discussed it in the past before. This kind of gives me Stranger vibes, actually. Just this whole snake in general. I really love the shading here into the dark. Really reminds me of not the sunset gene, but a actual sunset. Love the pattern. I love what it does to the sides here. The dark dorsal of the snake, the emberish looks for the pattern itself and how reduced it is and squished up, how much it's changed. It almost looks like that game, what are you, Aliens? Not Aliens, Space Invader. It looks like Space Invader. I don't know, to me. Anyways, but with like some fiery undertones, and then this belly pattern right here, just at the very bottom, it's like you get double the bonus here. Very, very cool. Like the peaking back here just kind of breaks it up, just creates a little bit of a different look, almost like an explosion of its pattern into the dorsal. Very cool animal. Female at 505 right now. Take a look at it if you're interested. Paint is very cool. I mean, this shows off something you can do with just cinnamon and yellow belly in there. This one caught my eye just because of its deal potential. I've gone over this before. You typically want your hets specifically to be female, and you want your visuals to be male, and that way that male can breed to a lot of different females. But this is a triple het. It's a triple het. Desert goes to Hypo buy. This is something that you don't normally see around this price, and right now it has no bids. If you were able to reproduce this, you'd be very, very happy. The odds to hit the triple are not going to be in your favor going head to head, or even if you have one visual in there, obviously. But the point of the matter is that it is a chance for someone who's looking to get into something for a lot less money and maybe take that gamble for, you know, just for fun. They're breeding, but heck, it's a lot better gamble than buying lottery tickets, and it's a lot more fun, in my opinion. So you'd be creating some cool stuff regardless. Something to consider. Maybe it fits into your plans. Maybe you want to roll the dice and take a chance on something like this. If you don't have a whole ton to invest, could be worth it. Now looking at a 1-to-1 pair of a double het sunset albino. Now this one won't be for everyone because the spider gene is going to be at play. Regardless, the snakes here, it looks like the pairing was a pastel albino to a sunset to create her. She's definitely got to be pastel. I'd say pastel, double het, sunset albino. We saw the lavender albino at Tinley one year, and it was really, really nice. I thought that it served to bring in some lightness to a snake that sometimes can be too dark for its own good and kind of brown out. With albino, would it do the same? I'd say it do something along the same lines. Definitely could be worthwhile, plus the sunset gene alone. The male here that comes with it is a ready to breed spider double het sunset albino. Not my cup of tea having a spider in the male anyways, but that's sometimes how you get good deals, is having the spider gene in there. The price is not as crazy deal like, but with a ready to breed and a female that does look pretty girthy, it could be worthwhile. It could be worth a look if you can maybe get some information from the seller as well. Got another Batman here, female, a very good price right now. Now this isn't a nearly breeder ready like the other one, but a little bit cheaper, so something maybe to keep an eye on the price here. If it stays anywhere near this hemisphere, that is a steal. I don't think it will. I think it'll go up at least a bit. These auctions do have deals in them though. Definitely something to consider. And just keep your eye on, especially if you miss out on the other one, that if you were interested in that one. All right, got a quick fire round here. There's 3 of them from Chimera. Chimera is a very good breeder, but these ones are all pretty cool, and they're all very well priced right now. First up would be a Pastel genetic Redstripe, 100% het clown. This is a female. You know how I love the hets in females, and this is already a genetic stripe. So if you want to get into the Kiki project, which is known to be the genetic stripe clowns, this would be a really good building block. Redstripe, Pastel, genetic stripe. Moving on to their other snake, which would be a Pastel Leopard, genetic stripe, 100% het desert ghost, 100% het cryptic. That's a lot, but again, this is something that you could maybe add a different kind of flavor to it. Not necessarily the Kiki project, but when Cryptic and Clown get together, it creates an allelic form called the Krypton. What if you create the first genetic stripe Krypton? I don't know what you'd call that. I guess it wouldn't be a Kiki, but it'd be kind of in that family in a way. You could definitely work them together very well. So if you're into that project, maybe something to branch out. And then obviously the het desert ghost is just an extra bonus there if you wanted to get that into all this mix. Something definitely very cool. It is a male, so that one, you know, again, I don't necessarily care for the hets in the males, but you do have a positive hit here in the genetic stripe, something to definitely still use. And again, the way that Cryptic works with Clown, all you'd need to do is hit the double het to basically create this visual form of the allelic Krypton. And finally is a Leopard Mahogany clown. Now I love Mahogany clowns. I love what it does to the head. You know, you add Leopard to that and you're just adding even more specialness to this animal. Very orange, beautiful head. Very magma-ish colors, especially towards the front half of the snake on its dorsal, bleeding into these nice rich colors, these nice beautiful burnt oranges. Very, very cool animal. Also a female, definitely worth looking into. The interest is pretty high on these. Here's another proven breeder, an Ultramel clown at that too. Very, very cool. It's a male, but you're getting both recessives here, so if you want to get into a cool project pretty quickly, this is something to consider. Right now, $600 with 8 bids, so the interest is definitely there, but it's not as crazy as some of the other ones we've seen with similar time. And just so you know, this is somewhat similar to what they look like when they're born. Now this is an Enchi Ultramel clown that this breeder helped produce. So you can get some really awesome looking snakes from this breeder that you'd be able to plug into your projects right away and get producing. Even if you got normals, think about this, you'd be able to create your hets right off the bat. Like everything's guaranteed het. Another one worth a look, especially if you're looking to get something started right off the bat. All right, not as many today. We're on the second to last page. Got one here that is a banana 100% het puzzle female maker that is also 50% het hypo. Being het puzzle and 100% at that, again, the point of these auctions is to get something that's going to plug into your projects for a very good deal and possibly enhance your projects in a way that you didn't think maybe you were going to be able to. And being a female maker at that really adds to this, especially with clowns. So it might take away from the negative downsides from having, you know, these hets rather, or possible hets in the case of the het hypo. And that is one you can have a shed test in. So at $55 right now, this is most certainly worth it. Anything that you hit banana on is almost assuredly going to be a female. We actually covered this in a video about the banana gene in general and how much different it is than other genes in that it attaches its form really to the sex chromosome of the animal. So most of the bananas you hit are all going to be female. If you work this into a puzzle, you have a much higher chance to hit a female banana puzzle. And if you hit up on this hypo, if you get lucky and get hypo too, you're gonna make some really special things. And on that, one more from Ball Python Shed would be this chocolate double het hypo puzzle. Chocolate's not a gene that I'm into myself, but I definitely would love to someday get into this gene. And it was created from a puzzle het hypo crossed to a super chocolate hypo, so it's obviously guaranteed to be a double het and chocolate. Being a female at that, this would be a good addition, a very solid, safe addition to somebody's project, especially if you wanted to work the hypo puzzles. Chocolate is a very cool, solid gene. I wanted to call out another one here from Mershon's Morphs would be this Banana Clown female. Very favorable price. Proven breeder, big girl too at that. There's actually a decent portion of proven breeders that are on auctions right now from Mershon's Morphs, so definitely something to take a look into. But Banana and Clown have gone well together for a long time, and if you're just looking to produce cool looking things, these are always going to be cool and they're always going to move. The prices on Banana Clowns, I mean, they're still good, but they've come down to the point where they're not astronomical. And this is going to sell to pet and breeder alike, I'd say, because other breeders are going to think the same thing, and the price right now is very, very, very good. And while you're at it, check out their other ones. As you can see here on the main page, there's a few of them here. It looks like the other ones are all males, but they might fit into your collection well. And we're going to finish off here with another proven breeder. Seems to be the theme here. There's a good amount of proven breeders here. So what that tells me here is that people's collections are starting to lay. And a lot of the big breeders will move on because they're sizing up their collections. Their females from 3 years ago are now getting big enough so they know they're going to need that breeder tub for them. So they move on from them. That's really what you're seeing here. And I think this is the first year that auctions has been around that this season is also hitting on. And it's a really good way to jump into this and retool your own collection with stuff that's ready to go. If you have the knowledge and you are comfortable breeding right away, you can just buy into it too. I bought a sizable pied collection right off the bat from Royal Constrictors. But last one here, it is a pastel clown. Now I know everybody says about pastel and whatnot, but look at the colors. This is a nice pastel clown. And this is obviously a proven breeder. She's literally on her last clutch of eggs that she had. She's not going to be ready to go immediately. It looks like she laid here in March a couple months ago. But that means she's going to be ready for the next season as long as she's eating well. And most of these breeders, obviously, they're not going to sell these until they've gotten back on food. That's part of the thing is when after they eat, you make sure they start eating good. Looks like a consistent clutch layer. And like I said, this is a very beautiful pastel clown. A lot of times they brown out a lot more, and this one, no, it's a very nice one. Something to definitely consider if you're just looking to get in and get a well-priced animal at 150 bucks right now. Obviously there will be more bids, but something to keep an eye on, and maybe you can end up with a proven breeder clown. And we're gonna end it off there this week anyways. There's not a whole ton going into this weekend, not as much as there was last week, but there's still some great deals and a heavy amount of proven breeders. Obviously I didn't even go over everything on this, otherwise this list might as well just be live streamed if that was the case. But there are a good amount of animals here. So after watching this video, take a look. If any of this stuff interests you, place some bids on there. If you like this video and you wanted to check out how you can use the Morphmarket auction systems to benefit you, whether you're a buyer or a seller, you can check out that video right, I don't know, here, whatever, there.